So on today's PD365, you're joining me in one of my new spots that I spend quite a lot of time, and that's on the floor, stretching my neck out because the physio says it's a good idea. So I tend to kind of lie, and it apparently balances all your muscles out. They kind of like settle how they should settle. It hurts a lot when I get up, but it's really good for the time being. So I thought I'd combine some answering of questions from P's and Q's. The question thing I set the other day, if anyone had any questions for me that I could answer or anyone else could answer. So I thought I'd answer some of them and do my physio at the same time and just try and be a bit comfortable. So I have my questions here, and let's see which ones I can answer. Someone with essential tremor has asked for some tips on tremor and actually how to kind of control it and deal with it and things like that on a daily basis, because my tremor is quite prominent now. I'm tremor dominant apparently, which is quite unusual for younger people with it. I would say probably my main tips are try to relax whenever you can. It's the worst thing with tremor if you're trying to navigate on your phone or something and you are stressed because you're running late for a meeting or what have you. Suddenly you're there like trying to press all the buttons and your tremor becomes more prominent, and I find all my emotions come out in my tremor. So if I'm happy, excited, nervous, sad, anything, any emotion, my tremor just goes crazy. And so there's not much you can do about it, but I think at the times when you can, if you can relax it, so often I'll sit on the train and just kind of go into like a sort of meditative state, I guess, and just breathe deeply, and I can actually still my tremor quite a lot. I can really slow it down and still it, and sometimes almost kind of stop it, and it's just nice to have that from time to time to kind of feel like my body's not always moving. So if you're able to do the same and relax a little bit from time to time, that will definitely help you. Other than that, I think I used to hide my tremor, like I'd kind of do the thing where you stick it under your bum and or you tuck it in a pocket, but actually it's still noticeable. So I'm just more honest about it now, and it's there, it's flapping around. There's nothing much I can do about it. So it's kind of coming to peace with your tremor and knowing that people see it and actually they know it's a tremor. They don't know why you're tremoring, but they don't think, I think a lot of the time you worry that people think you're nervous or what have you, but actually when you're shaking that much in one specific area, which is definitely my hands, I kind of shake more in my hand, my arm, it can't be nerves, it's too kind of localised. So try not to worry about it. I know it's a really big deal for most people when they get diagnosed if they have a tremor. It just feels like the world's ending because you're suddenly, you know, seeing yourself differently because you're shaking and what have you. I don't have any good tips. I might ask around to see if anyone else has any good tips, because I spill stuff, I drop stuff, I do all sorts because my tremor is quite prominent. So yeah, I mean, if anyone else has any tips, please comment in the comment section under this for everyone to look at. And I can ask around to see if anyone has any good tips that they can share, because definitely tremor is something that's very, very tricky to manage. It's sort of there when you need it the least. So the next question is my neck Parkinson's disease or the medication? Well, actually neither, we think, at the moment. I went to see my consultant the other day and they think I have another condition, which is also incredibly rare. Which is to do with muscle thinning or thinness or something. I can't remember what it was called. I should have been listening, but I was kind of worrying instead. And it's basically one side of my neck has a thinner muscle than the other side, and it's shown up in my MRI scans. So it's meaning that it's pulling. But I know that a lot of people get dystonia, which is often caused by the medication rather than by the PD itself. And that's why the medication is so tricky, because it just causes all these extra symptoms that we don't need. You know, we've got enough going on without muscle stiffness. And I used to find with my foot, I'd get foot rigidity and dystonia, and I'd get that from kind of ups and downs in the medication. So when I was taking Mazepar, the soluble medication, it actually was really bad, because as my medication levels went up and down during that period of time, like over an hour, at the end of the hour and the beginning of the hour, I'd get terrible foot cramps, really uncomfortable ones, and wasn't ideal. It's a bit better now I'm on Cinemet, I don't get it so often, and I'm on the Opicapone. I still feel like I'm saying that wrong. It sounds like I'm saying like a, I don't know, weird word that I've just made up. Probably am actually. So yeah, it's actually neither, we think, but I'm actually going to be going on to apomorphine, which for those of you who haven't heard of it, it's actually there's an injectable and an infusible kind of version of it. I'm going to be trying the injectable, so I have to go to like a masterclass to learn how to inject it into my skin, and it basically provides kind of a quick fix. They say it's very good if you're about to go into a meeting. A lot of people use it for that, and it lasts for like an hour, but it gives you like a really direct kind of hit without too many side effects, without having to up the dose of levodopa that you're taking, which has all the horrible side effects and the addictions and stuff like that. So willing to give it a go, see if it works, and I think that might potentially help my neck as well, which would be great if it does. So a bunch of physio, a new neck brace, which I'll sport in my next video when I'm not lying on the floor, some new medication, and a neck consultant, a muscle consultant is the way forward with my neck. So but yeah, I know a lot of people do have muscle cramps from the medication, and some people have it from PD, kind of stiffness, but normally dystonia is medication. So the next question is a biggie actually. How do I cope? Number of ways really. The people around me are incredible. I've been very lucky to have a really amazing team of people that I call my army, that kind of help me feel like me every day, and they help me cope. And the other thing is positivity. I was kind of very early on, when I spoke to people, no one expected that I wouldn't be okay. Everyone expected that I'd be fine, and so I was fine, and have been fine, you know, all the way along so far. And I think we can't really do anything about the physical side of things. We can try and, you know, keep them to the worst they need to be. We can, you know, look after ourselves, but we can't stop those from getting worse. But we have some power, some level of power, sort of, over our kind of physical, mental well-being. So trying not to put ourselves in situations that are gonna emotionally upset us too much, to try and keep ourselves positive, to rest. I'm rubbish at resting, so I'm the worst person to be saying that. I'm a complete hypocrite. But yeah, I think for me, the mental side of things is actually more important than the physical sometimes, in my opinion, because if I'm feeling strong mentally, I can cope with the physical stuff. And it's kind of almost a case of sort of doing exercises on that, so testing yourself and just being kind to yourself and surrounding yourself with people that are kind to you as well, and getting rid of anyone that is negative and doesn't help your situation. But ultimately, I've been very lucky that I get offered things that make Parkinson's fun for me, and I know that everyone doesn't have that luxury, that I'm in a unique situation sometimes, that I get offered experiences and opportunities that make PD something that I'm pleased to have, because not pleased to have, proud to have, and proud to be coping with, because of the opportunities that I get because of it. It's opened my life out and made it something that I'm proud to live. I don't know if I'd feel the same way if I didn't have those opportunities, and I'll never know because they're there now. But even if we don't have opportunities, we can still look after ourselves, push ourselves, give ourselves challenges, continue to expect more from ourselves, because when you're diagnosed with something, there's kind of a roof put in of what people expect from you, and actually that is guided as well a little by what you expect from yourself. And when I was diagnosed, I wanted to carry on living the same life that I was living, and it's not denial, it was just expectation. You know, I'm young, why should I not be able to do these things? It doesn't make sense and it's not fair. And sort of maybe a bit of rebellion and anger at it, actually, anger at PD. So that's kind of carried on, that stubbornness, and stubbornness has held me in good stead, to be honest. And I think having a sort of positive mental attitude, and one that makes me put myself in situations that challenge me, even though actually just getting up and getting into work sometimes is a challenge. I don't want to be restricted by that. I don't want to get to the point where I expect that for myself, that actually going into work, just managing to make it into work for me is enough. And that's me that's just me. I'm stubborn and I expect too much from myself, and I'll probably end up deteriorating quicker than I should do because of it, but I'll never change. I will never change. And I think it's just about finding your happy place and what makes you happy and what keeps you feeling like you. That's what's most important. And the PD can do its thing, just carry on doing its thing, but you're just being you. Just doing the things you love, finding new things that you can do more easily if you can't do the things you love anymore. And to me that's actually more important sometimes than lying on the floor stretching your neck out. So I've had a very specific question about swan necking, and I didn't know this is what it was called. It's a very beautiful word, for a beautiful term for something that for me is quite annoying, and that's what my hands do. This hand in particular. The other hand doesn't do it so much, it's kind of a bit more well behaved. But so my little finger sort of juts out, it's like I'm holding a fancy cup of tea at all times. And the other one sort of bend. I don't know if you can see. I'm probably just about to see that. But to me it's actually not that annoying, it's not painful, it's not that annoying, it just doesn't help, but it doesn't hinder too drastically. But I've had a message from someone who it is actually really affecting, and who's saying that actually it can be treated. And I've never been told it can be treated, it's always just been sort of an element of my PD that is annoying and my consultant mentions, but no one's ever said about doing anything about it, and I guess that's probably because it doesn't annoy me too much. It just kind of adds like a fancy element to my hand. But I never really need to, I mean the only other time it's really bothered me is when I'm at the airport and you have to put your hand on that like biometric fingerprint scanner when you go to like America or something. Trying to do that is an absolute menace. But that's like one thing out of, you know, a whole life of stuff. It's not too bad, and it doesn't really bother me too much how it looks, because to be fair the hand's moving so quick it's a blur anyway. But yeah, no, I think I'll kind of ask around and see if anyone knows anything specific about it, but it's a new term for me, it's that I've not heard before, but I like it, it's a nice term. So I'll see if I can talk to someone about that and get an answer about sort of, you know, why it's caused. And then just finally there was a couple of questions which I don't think I can answer because they're too big, but I'm going to find the people that can. So there was a lot of questions around a cure, you know, will there be a cure in our lifetime? What's the chances, you know, is anything looking positive, potentials, when are we going to get that cure? And there's some people that I can talk to about that who will hopefully be able to give me an answer, so I will report back with videos from them. And then there's a couple of specific meds and supplements that people were suggesting that they'd heard of, and I haven't heard of them because I'm not very good at keeping up with the research and the new medication. I'm more into the kind of technical side of things, how tech will help us, how to speak as well, how tech will help us going forward. I think everyone finds that area of interest and really focuses on that. So I know some people that are quite kind of keen on that stuff. So there's a guy called Martin, I might chat to Martin and see if he'd be happy to weigh in on any of those things, because I know he's quite big on the research side of stuff. So yeah, that's kind of the main questions that I had. If anyone has any more questions, just fire them and I'll just, let's not make it a formal thing, just fire them across and I'll answer them as and when I'm stuck for a video. But yeah, no, it's been nice kind of hearing from you all, and some really nice comments, some lovely things said. Thank you so much, I really appreciate it, and I'm really glad that the videos are helping so many of you. I get people coming up to me at events now saying the same, which is lovely, because I think when we were all diagnosed we all kind of looked to someone, and I looked to people like David Sangster and Vicky Dillon and people like that who were trailblazing and telling their stories, and I really hope that I can help do the same for some other people, because as David always puts it, when you're diagnosed it's like you're in kind of, you know, playgroup or kindergarten and you need your hand held at all times. You need someone to go through it with you, and as you go through your PD journey you get to the point that you graduate and you become a teacher yourself and you start to kind of give back to the community, and I love that. I think that's a really nice analogy for something that's really important to me, being able to give back to the community that's given so much to me. So yeah, I'm really glad it's helping. My waffling is helping in some way, and my sitting with my neck all crooked is helping in some way. Please continue to comment. I'm so sorry that I don't reply. I will reply, I'm going to, but I'm just so crap at typing. It takes me so long to type, and my dictator on my computer's not working anymore and doesn't really understand me. But I will reply to them all eventually, I promise. So hang on in there. I will actually get back to you. But thank you so much. Please continue to comment and continue to watch and share and all those things. Happy Saturday.